Ooh, yo, what up, good morning, the MGF. Tuesday, it's only Tuesday, January 34th, 2025, look at that, another beautiful day to have a beautiful day, another beautiful longest month of the year to have longest month of the year. I got my co-host in the house, Tyler, Mando, good morning, how you guys doing today?
Good, man. Bit of a bounce back to whatever it was, 102K.
Yeah.
Farokh in my DMs. Wants to add more risks straight away. After the 20% rally across the board, straight in.
I mean, to be fair, all my calls pre-20% rally were right.
Yeah, actually, to be fair, like the nice little dip on Ray that we that you caught yesterday.
That was nice.
That was a
Small
nice
trade. Small trade though, sadly. But yeah, I do want to. I wish I was more risk on. It's like I'm dying, but I'm so bored. Like fucking JLP, man. It's like you put me in a retirement home, bro. Like I'm a 30-year-old degenerate that lives in a.
Put you in a retirement home.
Like I live here. Like look at me. My surroundings are Web3. Everything around me is crypto. I live in a crypto home, and here I am. I live in the casino with you guys. I'm talking to you guys.
It's so funny how just making boring money is not fun.
I'm in the retirement home. I feel like you know what you did with me? This is what you did with me. You said let's take you to bed. Let's take you to bed, Farokh.
Is made of Solana and Bitcoin.
Hey Farokh, let's take you to bed, Farokh. Let's take you to bed, you know? What the fuck? Put me back in the asylum. You know? I want in the asylum.
I actually know the feeling that you mean, because you sit there and you're just like the threshold for you to want to get involved in something is quite high. Like you just sit there and go like, I don't know if I can be bothered to sell this.
Put me in, coach.
You know what I mean?
Bro.
So you end up just like resisting all FOMO.
Honestly, it's a good exercise though. It's
for example, did you buy MLG yesterday?
I bought lower. I bought MLG at $85 million the other day.
Right, and did you buy it yesterday? Because you were in my DMs being like, oh, I want to buy some.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
That's a prime example, right? You feel the FOMO and you're like, I gotta buy it, and then it goes up and straight back down, and then you're like, oh yeah, okay, should have just stayed the
Oh my god, yeah, I gotta. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Kind of doing some low stakes, high leverage perps action to pass your time.
Yeah, maybe. You know what? I thought about that yesterday, Tyler. I was like, maybe do I load up like $100,000 in the Robit account and just perp trade? And I decided not to, because for me, like, this is the fastest way of losing the entire stack. At least on a meme coin, I'll chase the wrong meme coin and I'll lose half of my money. I can make that back, right? Just went 2x. But the perp thing. How you doing, Tyler? How's your morning going?
I'm good. I woke up to the China tariff fear. And then it seems like that's already passed. And
is that?
It's already passed, and now it's 10 a.m. and we've already got our first mega bull headline of the day out of the Trump administration.
Out of the gate. There you go. And I'm sure we'll talk about that in a second. And we have David Sachs, Crypto Czar, talking about at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. So that's, to me, like, this is like as exciting as like a Trump speech, because he works for Trump and he's going to speak on crypto. So it's going to be super exciting. I even have the local press, the person who interviewed me on after my Trump interview in Montreal, that messaged me yesterday asking me about like what's going on with the Doge and the use of blockchain and stuff. So like there's like it's starting to make some waves, all this crypto stuff across the world, slowly but surely. I think people are really catching on to it, that this technology could actually be used for something more than just number go up. So this is what we're all in for. Anyways, today on the show, today, do a 1 sold to 1,000 sold challenge. I don't believe in those. Like, there's no one in your timeline saying they did a 1 sold to 1,000 sold challenge that's like not lying to you. They all loaded it up with like 50 sold after losing that 1 sold and then took it to 1,000 maybe. Because trust me, I tried many times. Anyways, today on the show, what are we talking about? Macros, markets. There was some numbers this morning, man, that I'm curious about, or whatever. Anyways, I saw Walter Bloomberg. Delta One, tweet that stuff. Market's doing good, so I assume it's okay. We have Tyler's top 1,000. Like you said, Eleanor Tourette again with the bangers on timeline this morning. So I'm sure we got to cover that stuff. And then last but not least, so we don't have a guest today, but we have Robert Lootbox Spins. It's Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Oh, and the code is already out there. Look at the code. I love it. We invented this term. This is a FOMO hour special. Fark. F-A-R-T. K-C. What the hell? F-A-R-C, dude, what? I just failed the spelling bee. F-A-R-C is going to be the code. It's a rafflebot.xyz. We're giving you guys the code right off the bat because my ass always forgets. I get dragged along the show and I forget. So rafflebot.xyz every single Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we give money away. And I actually created a really fun box for you guys this morning with a bunch of different NFTs. I actually took quite a bit of time to make it. So hopefully you guys hit big. And as usual, this show is powered by Galaxis. Galaxis is a Web3 platform empowering creators and brands to build unstoppable communities with full ownership and independence. Trusted by icons like Donald Trump, Steve Aoki, Mike Tyson, and the NBA, shaping together the future of engagement. But also Fairside. Every day we see people's wallets get drained. Fairside is about to launch the fair alternative to insurance for crypto scams. Check out Fairside Network. If you get drained, you won't get wrecked. Mando.
Who is the man, macro daddy of the land? Can you dig it?
GM, everyone. So, better day, I would say. The day just got better as it went on. We obviously had that horrific day yesterday, maybe up to 10 billion of liquidations. I think by the time the show went live, we were kind of back to like, what was it, 97K roughly?
I think the show, yeah, we nearly hit 100K on the show even.
Oh, really? Okay, so it was rallying as the show.
Oh, because you had to go, yeah. So, but by the end of the show, we really we're 99.2, 99.4.
Right. Okay. So we're probably flat to where we were yesterday. Although we did kind of go back above 100K to around 102K, slightly higher yesterday. And then as we alluded to, like this is not the fight against Canada and Mexico was always going to be resolved. The big fight here is against China and the BRICS, and that was what Donald Trump had in his first presidency for many months, and the markets didn't like it, but it came to terms with it. It also feels like they are now going to have a bit of a trade war with tariffs on different goods. I do think this hurts China obviously a lot more than it hurts the US, although they've come back and said they're going to limit the imports of certain US goods or put tariffs on them. They're going to limit their exports of some rare minerals, which is fairly important to the US. And they said they're going to do some sort of investigation into Google, which is just kind of classic. So they're just like doing what they can to exert some pressure back on the US. Maybe this leads to a deal, maybe it doesn't. My personal view is that there won't be a deal with China. I think it will actually probably just keep escalating. I think that there is very little need for Trump's view of like raising tariffs instead of taxes. You don't do it against China and Mexico, but you can just keep on doing it against China. So I think that's what we'll see here. They may also continue to raise tariffs versus the EU. That one's going to be a more interesting one. I think the US feels less aligned, let's say, with the EU right now. I think with the UK, they'll probably do a sort of Canada-Mexico style deal. But with the EU, I think it could be a bit more of an issue. And then BRICS remains to be seen. India sounds like they've already offered a trade deal in the last 24 hours, trying to preempt anything from Trump. Obviously, the Saudis and the US have kind of close, but at the same time, not close relations on certain things. And then Russia, obviously, is already under sanctions. And then it's all the other extra members of the BRICS that I think they'll be looking at. So let's see what happens there. This is going to be what I think we are seeing here is that Trump is going to be a headline president way more than Biden ever was. We are going to hear, which is his style, this brinkmanship style, this slightly bombastic style, I would say. Where
bombastic. I like the word.
Kind of crazy, and then walks it back, and then or sees what the reaction to it is, you're going to see a lot of headlines. You know, I think we probably knew that from the moment he kind of came in and said he wants to like take over Greenland. Like this guy is going to put out a lot of different concepts and then work out what sticks or what doesn't stick. And some of it may all just be part of a negotiating plan. So I think we're going to see a lot of that and expect some volatility on the back of it. Luckily, I don't think a lot of that is to do with crypto. I think for crypto in general, he's pretty positive, but particularly around foreign policy and trade, I think you're going to see a lot of fairly crazy headlines over the next 4 years. So macro markets wobbled a little bit yesterday. And I haven't checked today, but what
was this jobs thing? There's numbers this morning or something.
There's a jobs report. It's not one of the bigger jobs reports. So I wouldn't worry necessarily about that jobs report.
Okay.
Yeah, like it looks as though we're slightly rebounding here, even with the trade war stuff. So whatever losses we kind of had yesterday have kind of been us kind of being erased right now. So it doesn't feel like it's that much of a worry so far for like macro markets. And I think that's going to continue to be the case. Bitcoin, I think it's good that it's had this little retest. Like it's currently like 98, 99. It was there this morning as well. Like I think it would have been strange if it just like powered on higher.
Yeah.
It's good it has this little consolidation, and then I'm seeing a range of different takes here. Like that was the flush that takes us then up, can take us up to an all new time high. This points to us being in a long range for a long time. Bombastic, yeah.
Ticker sign bomb. Wait, no, I'm Persian. Don't do it. That's racist.
That looks like
bombastic.
That looks like a range to me.
Dude, look at this range. It's so tight right now. It's just like the eternal shop. We're back. Remember when we had a segment called The Chop on FOMO HOUR?
It's interesting though, that chop, you look at the chop from last year and it was a chop down. This kind of looks more like a chop up.
I mean, we put it in the higher low here, guys. Unless Tyler's licking his lips right now.
Higher low on Sol. There was a higher low on Bitcoin.
Dude, this is higher lows, dude. Like honestly, whatever you want to put it, like there, like this, all higher lows.
Does that mean we break out lower?
Oh, so actually, while you're here, Tyler had a question for you yesterday because you answered his question, but the wrong way. So yesterday, Tyler asked you, how do we break out of this range? You answer on the way down, break down of this range, then you left. And Tyler and I were here like, well, what the fuck? And Tyler was like, well, I kind of wanted to know how
Did
we
I
break
say
out.
that?
Yeah, but you didn't say it's going to go lower. You only answered, yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking through how to break the range, and you just kind of...
You just gave one of the answers, but we were waiting for the other answer.
No, all I've generally found is whenever we've been in a big range in crypto, you firstly everyone has to give up and think it's over, and then you gig ascend out of it.
Oh no!
And that's happened so many times.
No,
like look at the breakout.
This one. It's this one.
No, the one after that, right? When we went back down to 52K, and then it was just green candles all the way up to 70, and then it was like, right, we're going. That was the one where everyone thought it was over, right?
Oh, I remember it's my birthday. Literally that day, yeah.
And go back to the last range, which was the really long one, yeah. Like just before we started gig ascending out again. No, before that, this one.
Well, that's the bear market, right?
Well, no, that one from where we went 25K roughly for like months.
Here?
Like, no.
Which one? This
There's
range.
No, but the one before that, the really long side one.
This one.
And again, just before that happened, I think ETH went down to like 1,500.
Yeah.
It's over.
It's here, 1,500 on the dot here.
Yeah, and then we just started gig ascending out of it. That may have been the one that everyone just gave up. A lot of people were calling for the top.
Look at this after that.
Yeah, exactly. But generally, you need people to give up hope. I've found, and I think there's a little bit too much hope out there right now. That's my general.
I don't like that you're saying this.
He wants us fully hopeless before we can.
Yeah, this guy wants us to be hopeless.
That's been my experience of the chop. Like it is so painful because everyone gets so bullish. You need a couple more of like we go to 108K and everyone's like, we're about to
Yeah,
break
yeah.
out. And
Oh, that's
then
gonna happen again for sure. Like literally yesterday when I was getting set at 102 something, I think I texted you guys. I was like, "Are you guys ready for 106 before we go back to 92 on Sunday?" And that's not me being bearish. It's just me being, I think, being rational. But where are we here, guys? Before we go to Tyler's, where are we on the famous Wall Street cheat sheet? What do you think?
I love how this gets looked at, and then you
know.
bring up the chart of the S&P.
So I think this is like literally, I think this is a week cycle now. I genuinely mean that. This is 1 week, every week.
But I just this market. Have you seen? Bring up the chart of the S&P.
Yeah, it's up only for 2 years. I know.
Not for 2 years.
What do you mean?
For like decades.
For 50 years, for 100 years, 50
SPX,
years.
right here. There you go. Let's go on the yearly. Oh my God! Wait, but yeah, whoa. Wait, there's too many green candles. Oh my God! This looks like
where are we on this market cycle there? What I'm saying is, I think, and I think a lot of people are saying similar sort of stuff, is we are going to start replicating traditional finance a lot.
Oh my
more.
God, this is insane! Like, why am I in crypto?
Well, yeah, I mean, you should definitely consider
if you're in crypto, pivot to the S&P.
It's interesting. This has only really happened to US stocks. If you bring up a lot of other, like bring up the FTSE. The FTSE actually just put in
the what?
An all-time high the other day, but like
the what?
FTSE.
What's that? I've heard about it, but it's the UK one.
Yeah. Is this a yearly?
Yeah, I'm gonna move to. I'll move to 6 months here. No.
Well, it's actually a lot longer, and the FTSE's been going on for like decades, dude.
Yeah.
But European and UK stocks, the charts do not look like this. It's only the US stock market which looks like that.
What's the Europe one? C'est la CAC 40 in France.
Euro stocks, I would say. I mean, right now, a lot of these are hitting all-time high because the euro is getting absolutely destroyed. In fact, we're close to parity again, euro dollar. But
yeah, it's true.
So there's a currency impact to a lot of these.
Oh wow! Actually, the USD is stronger, no?
So very close. We're very close.
It's called soccer now.
Back to that. I guess what I'm trying to say is I think that whole thing of the boom bust cycle. I am a genuine believer that crypto is not now set up for the 4-year cycle. Other people maybe, but like that doesn't look like the S&P, and I think it's far more likely to be linked to tech stocks now than anything else.
Wow.
And I think people they hate it because they're tired of having to show up every day. Like they want recovery periods, I guess. I'm that's my interpretation. I can't understand why so many people are still
finding out about US stocks.
Yeah, that's a wild chart.
What am I doing, man?
I really feel like that's like if you think Bitcoin go to 100K or to 1 million, like what's the path? Like this is what it looks like.
Yeah. I may just go buy like SPX 500 now, like Myriad's coin. I don't know. Like
if you overlay the Bitcoin chart over this, you'll go. Right.
Yeah, I mean you'll get a better to compare Bitcoin.
This is art. This is art. No, I'm kidding. I saw the funny joke made by 9059 yesterday comparing S&P to ETH, and even ETH outperformed it over time. So obviously, like I'm kidding, but that is a beautiful looking. I'm not gonna lie, this is a beautiful looking chart. Speaking of this, how's the actual SPX doing? The crypto one. I'm curious because they just got a Revolut. They just got a list on Revolut this morning. 55 million users.
It's doing a lot better than MOG. I can tell you that.
Oh,
dude!
Shots fired in the studio right there.
Oh my God. That was a good one. But it hurts. And it's
I love the rolling battles between SPX and MOG. A year from now, what's higher? They flipped a lot of times.
The new conversation is SPX versus MLG because all the MOGers just cut ship for MLG, right?
Okay. This conversation stops right now. This is where the conversation ends. I will not accept any MOG slander on this show. No. No.
All the MLGers.
That's my family. But we should talk about the MLGers and what happened yesterday. So anyways, let's get to Tyler Stop 1000 if we're going to the macro stuff. Just a reminder, rafflebot.xyz. Rafflebot.xyz if you want to win a CryptoPunk this morning. They're expensive.
The only thing I would add is, again, the revenue protocols. The what should we call that? If we called that Farokh, this is called the
let's invent a term.
DeFi is what Darren.
The Ray Hype LP.
The Ray. So what's part of this revenue generating protocol? It's Ray,
Hype, JLP, and Jupiter to a certain extent, but
is Jupiter part of JLP?
No, you one of your biggest holdings.
I'm not joking. I don't know what I put my money in.
Okay.
I just bought it because you told me to buy it.
I gave you the description.
You did. You explained it to me, but to this date.
No, I'm not accepting it. I'm not accepting it because you're a smart boy. I'm not accepting that you don't understand what.
No, I understand. Let me explain to you in layman terms. Basically, JLP is an aggregation of 30% of USDC, stables, about 40% of Solana, and the rest is Bitcoin and ETH, right? And then basically it's a pool. And as people are trading perps on Jupiter because they have one of the highest perp trading volumes on chain, a portion of those fees goes back to buying back JLP. No, not to buying back to
it increases the size of the pool.
Of the pool, and as the pool gets bigger, there's more money in that pool. Therefore, the price of JLP is pushed up.
Yeah, you nailed it. That was exactly what JLP is. Jupiter is not that. Jupiter is a governance token of the Jupiter ecosystem.
So then it's not a revenue generating token then?
Well, they introduced, remember, recently a 50-50 fee split on their spot trading. Although the fees, we don't know. Like it sounds like it's going to be in like the
So
hundreds.
it's RLB, so it's Robit, shout out to sponsors, a revenue generating token if they're burning all the time?
Yeah.
Really asking.
So what I would say is RLB and Jupiter are actually very similar.
Right, because it's a similar model.
In their design. Yeah.
Okay, so Jupe makes me think of RLB.
Yeah.
In their design, but
similar Hype. Hype is actually the same. It's a buyback model. JLP is a different sort of token.
What do you think, Tyler?
Jupiter is also rolling out a suite of products. Like they've got their mobile
that too.
Ape. So they can always like start to. They've got a lot of levers.
Whereas Robit stays the casino, right? It remains just a casino.
They can create new products. They've already got a user base to cater to, and then they can turn on buybacks from those as well.
So what did you say? Darren is calling this aggregation of tokens?
Just like next gen DeFi.
No, we're not calling next gen DeFi.
Who said that?
Darren, his quant.
Oh yeah, I guess
it is next gen DeFi, but I'm saying we need a better term.
You know what I mean? They're just next gen tokens. Like, I guess they are all DeFi. Yeah.
You remember last cycle there was like Solu Nevax, and that was like a banger term that pumped everything.
Come up with our own version of
so let's
Ray, Hype, and JLP.
Ray, Hype, JLP. Let's take the letters. So chat, participate in this with us. Ray, Hype, JLP.
J Hype.
J Hype, JLP. Okay, so you're getting this. This should start with Rail J
Hype. The J Hype tokens are outperforming today.
J Hype. Like JAY. Wait, he's gone. He rugged himself. Wow, he dropped his mic. He dropped the mic. He left. Tyler, what do you think? J Hype, man. JAY Hype.
I can't. None of these sound good.
No, they sound terrible. All of them. JRL. What is this guy doing? Yo.
I think you're going to have to get the first two letters. We need more vowels.
So it's
J Hype's the best you can find. I'm certain of it.
Ray. So it's RAY.
Ray J.
Ray J.
Is Ray J. Is that something ChatGPT can do for us? Hold on.
I actually prefer that. Ray J Hype is what we're going to go.
Ray J is hilarious. Let's see. Can you combine these three acronyms into one word that is brandable?
Please.
I'm not saying please. This Chinese AI.
Ray J.
Oh, okay. See, I love that. Could symbolize Ray could symbolize light, vision, or something illuminating. JLP, this one is a bit more ambiguous, but it could be initials of a geographical reference or a unique term. Hype represents excitement, buzz, and enthusiasm.
But they are rape.
Oh God, did it really say that? No, right? Combining elements of all three, you could come up with something like Ray Jipe,
J Ripe.
Hype Ray, Jipe. So see, that's J Hype a bit, like J Hype.
J Hype. It's got all three, I think.
J Hype sounds like K-pop, you know?
Ray Jipe, I think, is, or Ray Jipe.
Yeah, I think we're not gonna. Ooh, abstract coded. But more unique. Let's see.
We'll deal with this, but yes, Hype is up.
Oh
again.
my god, it did propose.
J-Ray.
Dude, we're not gonna call it Raplify. Raplify? What is this, dude? What? Ralph, Relzo, Hypevia. Okay, before we get canceled, I'm just gonna stop this segment. Tyler.
For daily NFT and crypto analysis. Tyler D on FOMO Hour calls the kid can't miss.
Bring it back to Bears. Folks, crypto majors rallied on tariff pauses from Canada and Mexico yesterday, but then dipped overnight as China retaliated with tariffs of its own. But no worries. It was a major day of macro headlines. So we had Trump announce a new executive order for a sovereign wealth fund in the United States, first of its kind. The SEC has instructed their staff to no longer launch probes without leadership support. We've got Eric Trump telling everyone to go out and buy ETH on the same day that the Sovereign Wealth Fund was announced. David Sachs is set up to speak later today, 2:30 p.m. on America leading the way in digital assets. And then just in before the show, a new stablecoin bill is being introduced in U.S. Congress today and expected to pass. I'm sure we'll dig into that here in a minute. In token protocol and airdrop news, let's see. Barachain. Another piece of breaking news this morning. They're set to launch February 6th, tokenomics and an allocation checker to come tomorrow. So expect a lot of eyes on that. In the AI streets, total market cap up about 14%, though down from last night's highs. Most leaders up about 8 to 15% or so. When I ran the numbers this morning, AI XBT reclaiming top mindshare spot amidst a spree of high-profile hallucinations, including me picking a fight with it.
You fought with the bot for an hour yesterday. We're going to talk about that.
We fought the good fight. Robot yesterday.
You really have turned against this bot, I've noticed recently.
Bro, he was literally like,
you were like the guy, and then now you sold your position, and you are just.
But have you really sold if you're not fighting your bags?
No chance. No chance. He still owns AI XBT. I
no
feel
chance. Exactly.
Tomorrow he might just short this thing. Like he is not happy with it.
He may already be short right now.
I'll get into my rationale here. In more positive news, we've got AI16Z's Eliza OS. They flipped Solana Labs on GitHub in stars and contributors. Now over 500 contributors. Virtuals supporting the base AI agent hackathon. SWE has their AI agent hackathon kicked off. That's running through February 10th. $100,000 in prizes. And then SNI, tied to the Swarm Labs team, they were accepted into NVIDIA's Inception program for startups. So a solid piece of news there on NVIDIA and one of our AI leaders. In memes and NFTs, meme leaders were green on the day, up about 5 to 6% mostly. Farokh led all on-chain Solana volume, over $200 million yesterday. And then this Pain presale.
Wow.
The Pain escalated last night, $40 million.
The Pain escalated.
Token has not debuted just yet. So that's the rundown.
Looks like breaking news is she is going to meet Trump this week for tariff talk.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Is that breaking?
Seems to just
interesting. This is bullish, I think. I genuinely think like these two, like, honestly, like I feel like Trump and G are friends, low-key.
And FTX to start creditor repayments February 18th.
Yo.
That's big.
In line with
all in.
In line with my end of February call, just saying more and more.
Consolidate up. I don't think we're going to consolidate down.
Saying we're in line. Don't say I didn't tell you. So when it happens, all-time highs at the end of February. Anyways, everyone needs to get a little more bullish. I think you guys are not bullish enough. Either of you, either. You guys like I have Permabull in my Twitter name now. I changed my name yesterday. It's Farokh, and I know USA now has an executive order for 2 genders, but my thing is Permabull. That's what I want to be associated as.
They might take away your press pass if you
Yeah.
in your rules. So be careful with that.
Hey yo,
the personal trainer I see most mornings found out today that actually a couple of weeks ago that I'm like a Z-list celebrity and I have followers and Twitter. So he's now been listening to this show.
Time to change trainers.
Shout out Nelson.
Nelson.
He's a big fan of yours, Farokh. He's like,
Oh.
who's the guy with the hair? Like,
Thank you. Obrigado. Nelson, you're gonna be training me soon. I'm coming, Nelson. Let's go. Nelson. I can probably bench more than Mando. Don't worry, I got you. No chance. There's actually zero chance. So
Farokh, you're telling me I'm not bullish enough. I took 20 minutes out of my morning today to explain to everyone what a sovereign wealth fund is.
So let's start with that, because that is by far the biggest news yesterday. Is the sovereign wealth fund for the USA. I've been wondering why the USA haven't had one, but Tyler, why don't you break down the news here and then let's get into that convo, because that's massive.
Yeah, so the big story here, folks, yesterday, President Trump signed an executive order to establish an American sovereign wealth fund in the next 12 months. He's also asked for a plan to be delivered within the next 90 days for how to stand that up. So for starters, what is a sovereign wealth fund? It is a state-owned investment fund that manages a country's excess financial reserves, typically generated from exports. They can also generate capital from borrowing. The goal is to generate long-term returns for the country, stabilize the economy, and accumulate wealth. Typically, they invest in stocks, bonds, real estate, commodities, and more. We've got some examples across the globe. Norway and China, notably, both operate sovereign wealth funds with over $1 trillion
Wow.
assets. And Norway, if you missed this, they've invested in Bitcoin via MicroStrategy. So there is precedent for funds holding Bitcoin.
This is one of the smartest things I think Trump has done. It does kind of shock me that both the UK and the US have never really had big sovereign.
Is there a reason for that? Why is that? I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
The UK needs one. Part of this is actually tied to the pension system. So a lot of the sovereign wealth funds are built out to basically help with the manage the pensions and the returns of those pensions, particularly on the public side. But to be honest, like the two biggest centers of financial trading and wealth are the UK and the US, and neither of them have had sovereign wealth funds. It's very popular in the Nordics. So like Finland has a big one, Norway has a big one, Sweden as well. And it's like these are institutions which people like die to work for. So like Singapore, the Singapore one, for example, GIC, is known as being one of the smartest funds in the world.
Yeah,
like,
I'm at the head of that in Hong Kong.
People in Singapore will vie to like read like this. That's like working for Goldman Sachs in Singapore. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It's kind of the same for Norway. So like the idea that the US would do this kind of makes a lot of sense. I
mean, they invented capitalism. I figured they'd have something like this before.
They'll get a ton of people apply, and like you'll get really smart people who want to work, because you get a lot of people here, and I criticize this a lot in the UK too. Is like if you want to be a civil servant, or you want to work for the benefit of your state in the UK or the US, you largely have to go into some form of bureaucracy or deep state criticisms or this sort of stuff. But if you're working for one of these entities, like you actually attract a lot of business-minded people that just want to give back a little bit, and that's generally what a lot of these other state wealth funds are managed like. But maybe not like the Gulf ones. The Gulf ones are a bit more like just arms of the royal families out there. But some of them are really, really great institutions, and like they are big sources of national pride as well. So I think the US should 100% have one of these. And if they want to get involved in crypto, great. But if they could get involved in AI, they could get involved in like a huge broad base of things. Weirdly, like the biggest ones of this in the US are like private endowments, and they're often tied to like universities, sometimes to like state level pension funds. But they just don't have the same level of like esteem, I would say. And I do think that they could do something really cool here.
I think that's one of the biggest shifts we've seen in the first month of the Trump presidency is just smart business-minded people starting to work in the government. I mean, Elon and Doge just kicked that off.
Yeah, bro.
There was an article, I forget who wrote it. They're like kind of mocking these young kids who work for Doge right now, but these are like child prodigies. Like they are like literally genius.
I didn't see that. What is Doge?
20 hours a week to try to fix the problems in our government. Like that's exactly what we want. Like
exactly. This is exactly what the point is. It's like, if you want to be a civil, you can be from a top university, kind of go be a civil servant, but generally it's seen as like a bit of.
So apparently one of the kids is from Montreal. This is what they reached out to me. Like where do I see the team from Doge?
I don't have
they doxed them on Twitter, and then the people who doxed them then got their accounts banned. So I don't know.
Okay, because apparently one of the kids went to McGill University. It's interesting. Apparently the kid went to Cole Killian. He's from McGill University. It's not bad. Nice. Make Montreal great again. Let's go. Anyways, with that, Tyler, why don't you get more into details of like who's running it and like Lutnick and stuff? Because I thought that was pretty big.
I think the crypto tie-in is Howard Lutnick is going to run this along with Scott Bessent. And Lutnick, if you're not familiar, he's the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald. He is long hundreds of millions of dollars of Bitcoin and is also spinning up a Bitcoin-backed lending business.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty major connection. And then we also had our new political KOLs. So Loomis was retweeting the announcement saying it was a big
She's
deal.
the best.
And then Eric Trump, just a few hours later, telling everyone to buy ETH. And of course, those could be different. Like the Eric Trump thing could be different.
That was wild. That was the most wild thing I think I've seen. The guy buys hundreds of millions of dollars of ETH and then tweets out, in my opinion, it's a great time to add ETH. And then this is different.
He edited it 2 times, Mando. How do you see that? You can't anymore.
I had a good reply to that. Is that why that didn't get a?
Yeah. So basically, it was edited twice. It said "thank me later."
Yeah.
And then, yeah. So, anyways, so there's that. I mean, he's one of us.
Yeah, they're basically telling us there's going to be crypto in this thing. I think it's just a matter of, is it just Bitcoin? Is it Bitcoin plus ETH? Is it Bitcoin plus ETH plus more?
Yeah, I mean, you made in the USA coins probably, right? Like they've been talking about. She said big things coming. Do we believe that this is a first and easy step towards a Federal Reserve, Bitcoin, SBR, BSR, whatever? Given that with the sovereign wealth fund, there's obviously much less legislation and bureaucracy to go through.
I think this is how you buy crypto. Like rather than just. This is a vehicle that, other than we talked about confiscating or maybe selling the gold reserves, if neither of those happen, this is how you buy crypto.
Okay, I agree with that. So it looks like mark your calendars. Within the 90 days, we get SWF plan from Bessent and Lutnick, and then within the 170 days, crypto plan from Sachs, who is actually going to be speaking to that 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Tyler, what else you got for us? I feel like there was a few banger headlines in there.
The SEC one is like the news there is their analysts are effectively no longer able to go out and start launching probes against companies, crypto companies, protocols without approval from their leadership.
Whoa.
So, I mean, you can argue there's pros and cons to this, and perhaps, it gets a little bit over politicized, but it means there's likely less, there's going to be less enforcement. There's going to be more tape to get through that. So that was a headline. And then right before the show, Eleanor Terrett broke the news that Senator Haggerty, who spoke at Bitcoin Nashville, he's introducing his stablecoin bill. It's called the Genius Act, guiding and establishing national innovation in U.S. stablecoins. The idea is to provide clear regulations for stablecoins. Let's see, define stablecoins as digital assets pegged to the dollar, establish licensing and reserve requirements, how to apply Fed rules, and more. So it's just, more progress in crypto going mainstream here. And really, so far, knock on wood, we're a few weeks in. Seems like they're doing everything the right way.
I mean, so far, so good, in my opinion, in terms of, I don't know. So far, in terms of promises made, at least towards the crypto folks, right?
Crypto, they are delivering
over delivering, I would say, even because they're delivering fast. It's incredible. You know, and I understand how the tariff stuff may have made people feel uneasy at times, but I think it was just like politics and chess moves to get people to agree. I mean, that was also part of your headlines, Tyler. Post show, it seems like it's a pause. By the way, we're not out of the water yet. It's 30-day pause. Mexico and Canada. And what's going on with China now? Is there was a tariff on the other way, but is that solved already? You said they're speaking, Mando. That seems to be behind us already.
I mean, the US can do a lot more damage to China in terms of tariffs than the other way around. I mean, maybe China could pressure the US in other ways, but China's not having is in a little bit more of a precarious position, I think, than the US. Like I've said before, that's not going away. Like, don't expect, like, I don't think this week you're going to get some sort of rosy trade deal between the US and China. I think, or even if there's one temporarily, like the Trump's going to continue to hammer China throughout this whole presidency, and probably the BRICS too. That's my guess, because he does need to make revenue here, if he's going to cut all these taxes and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think you'll definitely see tariffs there. It's going to be interesting to see how this like Doge thing works out too. Like that's kind of the dark horse. Like,
biggest wild card.
Elon is saying that he thinks he can get rid of $1 trillion of spending. Yeah,
I believe it. I mean, the guy cut like
of the deficit. If he could, that would be huge. That would be huge. But it does feel as though, he's already facing a lot of roadblocks. Or at least there's a lot of fear and criticism and like whatever. There's a lot of people who don't want him to do what he's about to do.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But I found all the versions of that Eric Trump tweet. There it is.
Well,
that's all three of them.
I think there's a school of thought that that ongoing inflation is one of the drivers of the price of Bitcoin and risk assets. And then if Elon cuts the deficit significantly, does that slow down printing of capital and pause effectively? I think there's a lot more to it than that.
All right. Well, we'll see where that takes us. We can only wait, right, guys? And take it a day at a time, one headline at a time. We're back to a headline market. You love to see that. So I don't know. I think a lot of people I think it's easy to say that it won't work out because based on like old like stats and data from like previous places, previous countries and stuff. But also Elon is like one of a kind. Like the guy's built a net worth of $500 billion on the back of his businesses. So if anyone could do that, I believe it could be him. I mean, everybody said that Twitter would be done by now after he zipped 80% of its population of Twitter, like all the employees, whether left or were fired, and I think it's running fine. Yeah, we have bugs here and there, but it is the largest most powerful, impactful, important social media platform on earth is X right now. I think we all agree to that. I'm sure we're streaming there, so it's pretty wild.
They can cut that efficiently. This can be a massive win for the US.
Yeah, I think it'll be a win, and it'll be a win for everywhere else. I saw Bernard Arnault made a speech in France recently, last week, and he actually quoted the US and Bernard Arnault again. No small feat, right? I think someone very successful and very smart, third largest, richest man on earth, or second, I don't know. And he went and made a speech in front of French people saying he is during his trip in the United States. He realized that they don't cut corners over there. They get straight to business, and that there's too much bureaucracy in France. And I think that's something that's France's biggest flaw, which is very Euro, right, Mando? Like Italy, Portugal, like all these countries, like there's so much bureaucracy in Europe. It's so old school, and it's like we need to be doing something similar. And then he quoted Elon in the Doge. And so I think there's something to be said about all these pretty great minds, like believing that this is a good way of like fixing a government. And I think they have more experience than the average CT person. Anyways, Tyler, let's talk about your beef with an AI on the lighter note. I want to talk about you and AIXBT going pound for pound, yap for yap on the timeline.
Oh, is this what this is about? Is this yaps? Is this really about
No,
yaps?
it's
Bro, his whole personality now is around yaps.
I didn't even get many yaps for this.
Yap for yap. So take us through your yap off with
So yesterday I saw DC Investor retweeting
Yeah, I saw that too.
AXPT saying that effectively that World Liberty Finance bought 80,000 ETH, which is $250 million of ETH in the past 7 hours, which I knew was very, very likely wrong. And our colleague Logan was actually writing an article for Decrypt on some of the movement that World Liberty Financial had done, because they'd been moving funds around. There was a lot of FUD around it. If you take that on the surface, what it looks like is that perhaps they had inside information that the tariffs were going to be turned off or paused, and then they effectively used this crash to stockpile a bunch of ETH. And like that would be a very bad look if that was the reality of how this played out. And it was just totally wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, like, we found the tweet that AXPT was sourcing from. So AXPT is not reading blockchain data to generate its own content. It saw this tweet, it repackaged it, but the original tweet shows how they bought 86,000 ETH over a 2-month period, and the bot hallucinated 7 hours.
Yeah. And so here it is.
Feel like on its own, and it's been doing this for such a long time. The problem becomes, like, the bigger it gets.
They really went for you.
Dude, he literally was like, you check yourself before calling everything nonsense. Ain't on.
Up a little bit when it said that. And then I think people from their team finally got involved and were like, yeah, we were wrong. But
I'm here for
all KOLs, right? It's like when I was starting to, like, get a bigger following and I made blatant mistakes, like Sam would call me out, like, no, you're wrong. And then I would correct myself, or I would delete the post. The bigger this robot gets, listen, Cointelegraph wrote a story about this.
No, but that Cointelegraph is absolutely terrible. Like, this is just not.
That's the problem. Like that was
I agree.
I use Deep News, right? And Deep News picked up on this.
No, but this is insane. Like, it's not that hard not to pick up on it. Did the Crip write about this shit? No, they didn't, because, like, they have common sense. Like, honestly, like, just check your fucking chain.
But I think this makes a very good point, is that the ripples of one mistake with AI,
Tyler's point is extremely valid here.
Yeah, there's very few people putting out original content. And sometimes even when the people who are putting out original content, if that gets repackaged by an AI news service, that can just go. Oh, we saw that with a bunch of things, right? Like,
I mean, remember when Cointelegraph called that there was going to be what is it called? Bitcoin thing, ETFs, and then
going to be denied last minute or something, or
it was approved.
It
was approved, and Bitcoin ran. So it's not their first fumble there, but it's true. This is the downside of AI. Not the downside, sorry, because I don't mean to dunk on AI, but like the difference between human and AI. AI still makes a lot of mistakes, dude.
And yeah, and more people are sourcing. It's like DC Investor is a smart guy. Like, regardless of your thoughts on him being so bullish Ethereum, he's a smart guy, and he's spreading this. And people just are just taking it at surface value. They're like, okay.
I was very surprised by DC, by the way, because the state of Ethereum influencers clearly, first of all, it's never Trump buying Ethereum when Liberty DeFi buys Ethereum. But okay, I've caved. Let's just pump for our bags. It's good for the industry. So I'm done correcting people. But, like, goes both ways, right? So I don't know. That's great. That's right. You can't debug. Oh my god.
Some level of integrity in what gets posted on, because guess what? The robots aren't generating their own content. They're just surfacing what other people are writing. So yeah, Zinico's being sarcastic. That one.
Of course he is. I also like this AXBT agent. He was calling for another 42% dip on Bitcoin, and now he says that we've bottomed. So I'm very confused. I think this thing may be tied to KBM's account now. I'm getting a little concerned. Let's look at the price action, though. I mean, this is like to be fair, this is every iCoin. So,
and I'm not shorting AXBT by any means. Like,
no, I wouldn't. Yeah,
I would be scared to short that. I think there's plenty of people who still want to buy it.
What do we think of Eliza? OS AI 16Z.
We were talking about this before the show. It's still one of my favorite plays on the board because of their builder network. And I think the biggest drawdown is largely just tied to be like, what is the token? Like why does they need it? Why do they need a token? How is it tied to like this actual community of builders?
It does seem like it hasn't like the open source nature of it has just gotten stronger and stronger and stronger, right? But if you go through again, I still just think this is like a extension of the whole Melania thing. I do think that we even saw it with Farokh and a bunch of these AI coins yesterday. Like people are selling it
Every pump.
If something goes up 50%, if it pops its head above like the parapet, like smash. I do think there's quite a lot of like, do I think this could go back to $1 billion? I think this is gonna be really, really tough right now. But do I think this looks cheap? Like 400 million with that? Like obviously it's not a blockchain, and they need to then work like. But they said they're going to bring out their own agent marketplace, right? They turn that on, maybe that becomes a big deal. Maybe they do the launch.
Yeah.
Right. Like they've got a lot of levers they could probably pull with that GitHub, right?
Those numbers are not to be discounted. I think it's great numbers. This is a tweet, right, Tyler? I think you know what we were talking about this morning. I think it's fair. I think someone made a comment here on this post saying they're still dependent on Solana. So at the end of the day, they are dependent on Solana Labs in a way. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the trade was done. Like the trade went to 2 billion plus. I think this was again. Pardon?
Hit 3 billion.
3 billion. So they're even worse, technically, to my point.
Yep,
so like
200 million.
So the thing is, like, the trade was so utility value. Okay, fine. $400 million fair value given how many builders there are in the bull market. Fair. Mimetic value is gone from A16Z because Shaw's no longer main character. So it was a $2 billion run on Shaw being main character and being all over, right? And also Thread Guy and Frank, like, super bullish on everything. You guys, like, again, like, I've been talking about this a lot. Like, you guys just talk about it much more. So that the LA guys, like, talk about it a lot in a good way. This is not enough. I mean that in a really good way. Trump trade really fucked everything up, guys. Because it reset everything. I think TG, Frank, and us, we talk about this a lot similarly. It's like it was a great reset in the meme coin trenches where everybody stabled up or went towards JLPs and stuff. And I'm the best example. I was 99.999% risk, and now I'm like least risk, and I don't ape these coins. I think the trade, from a trade perspective, I think the trade was done. Yeah. Can it go higher? Yeah. But will people sell on the way higher? Yeah, I think so too. But I agree. It's looking good, guys. Follow the builders. If you follow the builders, then yeah, then this is a trade.
We're just Reignites from now on.
We're Reignites.
Let me share the bull case. So Ovi's come on the show, and he's an even bigger bull than me, right?
He is.
He thinks some of these can go to $10-20 billion valuations. The path for that is like we need AI fi. Like we need these companies to start generating revenue.
Yeah.
Like we're all bullish next gen DeFi. Ray J hype.
I'm really looking forward to AI fi.
We probably like
incredible.
That is the path, and I don't know if Eliza can pull that off or not. But like we just had the mimetic bubble burst. We're not going to get to 10 billion on mimetic value anymore. Like I totally agree with you, Fro. So like it's going to have to be something else. It's going to have to be more true utility, and they haven't unlocked that yet.
Yeah.
And I, on the near-term price action, totally agree. Like a buddy was saying that he thinks Farokh it flipped to 80 cents. He's like, this thing's probably going to speed back to 1, and then it's going to sell off at 1.
Probably. I hate to say it, but
like a lot of my current bullish mental model, if Bitcoin consolidates up, some of these leaders do the same. Every major pump gets sold off, but perhaps Farokh bombed at 50 cents. Maybe the next bottom is 55 or 60. Maybe the next one after that is 65, 70. And then a breakout in Bitcoin late March, maybe things escalate from there. Or maybe I'm totally out to launch and we don't ever see new all-time highs on anything again.
Well, no, I don't think you are. Yeah, like Mando said the same thing to us too, right? He said it's a very the trade that's highly depending on majors, and I agree. Because for utility plays, I'll buy Ray J. Ray J hype, not
Ray J.
Ray J. I'll buy that over any like utility meme coins. And for mimetic value, I'll buy a meme. And
even those don't last, right?
And even those don't last. I mean, you know us. Like we're looking at. I'm on the Farokh chart. I always have a Farokh tab open. I know the price of Farokh at any time of the day. So I do. Like I can tell you right now, closing my eyes, like $749 million. You know,
Yeah.
let's look. Oh wait,
Is it-
look, it's at 743. But just kidding. I checked 5 minutes ago. But you know, mimetic value. I feel like there's better memes.
I think a lot of these are looking undervalued. That's what I think.
Are they undervalued or fair valued?
As in, for where we are in a cycle, and Bitcoin's at 100K, suddenly
true.
these look like meme coins. Solana meme. Let's bring up Solana meme coins again. Like,
I mean, those are no, but I mean, yeah, we can, but they're all Christmas trees.
but that also includes top Solana meme coins includes Farokh coin, includes AI16C, includes I guess it only really includes GOAT, but like that's at 13 billion right now, right? That is halved. Well, it's down 40% since November. Like,
Includes Trump, but I know you can't really count it.
Includes Trump, right? Which
Melania,
4 billion of that.
So it's much worse actually. So it's down.
Can I ask you, where do you see your Solana meme coin chart? Only Solana?
It's at CoinGecko. Type in Solana meme coins.
Okay.
Oh, does that come up for you? No, I think you got. I did it into Google. I just typed in Solana meme coins into Google.
Okay.
So it includes
I'll find it.
It's really about 9, right?
There it is. Oh, I didn't know about this chart. Okay, cool. Wow.
Look at the market cap of Trump versus everything else now.
Wow, this is not a lot. Like I mean the wood one, I don't even know it. And it's top. What? Is that accurate? Is everything in there?
No, that's everything. You just don't.
Would you guys buy any of these?
I'm just telling you, like, this is how much stuff is down, right? I was looking the other day, like, like
maybe Giga.
Wow. Giga, yeah, honestly, dead ass though, after the fucking thing this weekend, I wanted to buy Giga so bad.
I guess my point is that you can buy some of these older ones and still think, they're not going to go down that much more, or they look. But I do think right now,
oh my god,
as I said,
guys, 30 mil
since Melania, like you have probably Portnoy about to drop a coin, right? He seems very, very keen to drop a coin.
He's for sure gonna drop it, bro. By the way, if you guys think he's not gonna drop it, take the no on Myriad markets. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and that's if he then does one. I'm sure you could have a Barstool one. You could have so many brands come out and try and do one as well. Like it's gonna be. And so people are just scared. Like it's not even that these things. I think these things should be higher, but people are just so right. I want to be in stables. And so you come back inevitably to being a rage hype, maxi.
Rage hype. Every time I get the itch to want to buy something, and I don't, 2 hours later, I pat myself on the back. Yeah. And this tells you the state of these coins, right? Because I'm living that cycle inside of me. Like, I want to buy, then I don't want to buy, Like, I eat 50 Farokh, I'm like, fucking need to put $2 million into Farokh. And at 750 Farokh, I'm like, oh, never mind. Maybe I'll wait. It's going lower.
I mean, that's a crazy thought process.
Right, Tyler? Like, but I'm also, like, redacted. But, like, I think this is how most of the market participants are. I genuinely feel like I'm probably the most relatable market participant.
Farokh is very much. People buy momentum in this market, but you can't guarantee the momentum in older coins. The only coin that looks like it has momentum right now is MLG, right? It just looks like, okay, every day, like, oh, this might.
I really like what they did yesterday, by the way. But
I don't really have like a strong view on like the coin itself, other than I like gaming meme coins, and I think this is an interesting niche. But like,
someone got wicked bad though.
Purely from a chart perspective, this looks like it's on its way up in a new like view. All the other ones look like, oh, this looks
like Tyler's talking about. It's like slow grinding up. Like I see this one like that, Ty.
I like MLG. If I could just put it the opposite side, like this also looks like a farm chart.
It does. It definitely does look
with MLG.
It does look like a farm chart, and you could argue that there's maybe a player that's bigger than all of the LA guys and us that's farming on the back of the biggest streamers on earth talking about it. We can't prove it, but it's a chart looking really good.
And I like this, by the way. I would never. I'm actually thinking about maybe opening a position. I have not.
I want to open a position of somewhat size, but I want to start opening it on major dips. Like the other day when I bought at 84 mil, that was nice.
I own some of this. I think you can't be involved in Epic and not think that this has a good narrative as well, right?
I mean, it's literally your whole bull thesis on Epic was gaming meme coins.
I think I hope this coin does well. Just like and then I think you can bring in gamers and this can be it's a whole new sector of potential crypto participants. But the
yeah, I mean, look at this. He's already got 40,000 followers.
I like Farokh too.
Is he going to swap in 30 million bucks? Because if so, then the
he is. So here's what he's doing. So Aiden Ross is going. This is his Twitter, right? I listened to the entire stream yesterday, top down. Basically, he has $30 million in Ethereum, which is wild because if I pick this up correctly, that's what he got paid from Kick in crypto, and he never sold it. So he held it for to all time high. He held it at 800. He held it all the time. He never ever touched his crypto per him, and now he wants or banks and stuff want to help him sell all of his ETH into these assets. So, and I actually curious what you think, man, of this portfolio thing. I think it's a pretty good one. It's better than the ones we've read, Tyler, in the past, like all Ethereum. It's 70% Bitcoin, 10% Sol, 10% Ethereum, and then the last 10 points, 10%, it's Hype, MLG, Trump. That's what they're breaking.
That's a good portfolio.
I cut the ETH part.
Yeah,
part?
Cut the ETH part.
I wouldn't put the ETH in there. But.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and it was fun. You know what's crazy? The stakes at which these guys play. So, and it's funny how mentality is, right? And that's also technically a bull case on ETH, guys. And I hate it's crazy. I'm pinning it this way. At the end of the stream, listen. At the end of the stream, Aiden was like, "Fuck this! I don't want to do any of this. I like my ETH is gonna go up because it's undervalued." And he actually bought $10 million worth of ETH at 2,500 2 days ago, and he's already up. Yeah, he said it. He's like, "Oh, I bought another 10 million when I saw I went down to 2,500. Call it luck or not, but he did that, and so he's up another 2 million on that. If you look at all time at 2,800, maybe he's up in million only now, but only.
He's got 3 million worth of ETH.
He bought 10 mil at 25.
He bought 10 million worth. Okay, so he's up $1 million. Yeah. I don't know if I
and at the end, he said, "I don't want to sell it because it's the second to big." So see that mindset, like the average rich participant that gives no fuck about crypto deeply or isn't involved may think like Aiden.
Yeah, that's fair. And it could be in the sovereign wealth fund, and then it's going to go up.
Correct. So the billionaire who's 67 years old and who's got a fuck ton of money and wants to play with the kids in the crypto basket, he's going to buy our Farokh bags. Or going to buy just a bag of Ethereum. It made me think about this, guys, a little bit. I'm not bullish Ethereum, but
it's interesting to think that what is a multi-cycle coin.
Mm-hmm.
I do think some of the coins that he mentioned are all. I think
that's so funny.
Are multi-cycles.
The meme of Frank selling. Frank wasn't fucking selling, but no way you dumped my shit. He just posted that this morning. It's so funny.
He posted that.
Yeah, Aiden Ross. Yeah, so he said, "No way you dumped my shit."
A lot of praise at the moment, isn't he?
Blame Frank is the new blame Farokh. But it's funny because he was tweeting this at the same time. I was looking for the pump fund, and it went like right away. And then he told Vitalik to suck his dick. It was kind of funny, but it's funny because he's like turbo bulled up. Also,
his biggest bull image is gonna be.
Hold on though, his biggest bull case for ETH. His biggest bull case for ETH was the Eric Trump tweet. He literally said it. He's like, "Oh, Eric Trump's pumping ETH. Why would I not have?"
Yeah,
but it's not that I'm not, but it's not that I don't like ETH. I'm just done with trying to say this is
I know.
We're all going to buy ETH.
Tyler went through that last week. He tried to long ETH 20 times and he kept he was like, fuck, every time.
The sign of Bitcoin 100K, ETH is 4,000. 100K, ETH is 3,700. Bitcoin,
right.
Okay.
So they brought out that tweet on the stream. But point being, I think his allocation is nice. Like 10% of 30 mil. Like let the kid have his 10% ETH. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not bad. I can't believe I'm defending a case for 10% of ETH right now.
It just lets me down. Like whenever I'm like, you know what?
I know.
This is it, lads. .eth.
I mean, look at it now. It's just filling the wick on the way down again. But
my only other thing is that I also feel as though like I'm increasingly not liking .eths. Like I increasingly find individuals on the timeline.
Dude.
Which I can understand. Like, you know, like it's obviously been painful and like they've been dunked on, so they're just like but like I don't enjoy being a .eth at times. Like it's like, oh, me and the lads are going to get together, and everyone's just been like saying everything else is a scam. I don't believe in that with crypto. So I can remember the .eths of last cycle. It was like NFTs and like we're gonna do all the crazy shit, and then I think they lost that narrative of being the easiest UI, and then they've like been very much against new stuff in crypto. I think
they were the thought leaders. In a lot of ways.
They still are. I still think there is that sort of like deeply philosophical and theoretical base with ETH, but
yeah,
not user friendly at times.
It's just not, dude. Like from an application standpoint, like it's just not usable. My friends are dying on MetaMask, dude, to move all the stuff to Phantom and stuff. It was a hassle. And they were home over the other day. I was trying to move his shit from ETH to thing, and I kept having to front him some fucking gas fees. And it was like $55 to swap on Mayan for like 5,000 USDC. You know what I mean? Like it's shit that these people don't understand, dude. And it's just absolutely nuts. Anyways, we went over a little bit. So I think we went around the horn pretty well here. Think we went around the horn pretty well. So when we pull up the giveaways, raffleball.xyz, the code was FARK, another term that we've coined here. Fart coin and ARK. It's the only two coins you need in AI. I love that. FARK 16C. All right. Pizza and NFTs. Congratulations. Pizza and NFTs. You win a loot box bin. All right. Here he is. Pizza and NFTs. I see you. NFT addict.
How's it going, guys? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. I love that. Look at the bio. A kid called Beast, Alien Friends, Quirkies, Doopsies, Space Riders,
Let's
Beige,
go.
Kataro. Jesus. Jesus. Are you still all in NFTs or what?
Yeah, of course, man.
Fuck yeah, let's go. Well, you're about to get more NFTs on
And I
this show.
CryptoPunk.
Oh, really? Hell yeah. All right, let's get you a CryptoPunk 1 second. I got to fix the odds on this real quick because something sold. There you go. All right. So today on the show, we have 2 punks, 2 apes, 1 Azuki. It was 2, but 1 sold, and I don't want to add another one. And then a bunch of red guys. So there's quite a few things that you can win here. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right,
Blessed on Mike.
We haven't had a big win in a while. It keeps getting red, guys. Let's go. Come on.
Let's go.
Well, you win a red guy.
Oh, awesome.
Shit.
Awesome.
Oh shit. Okay, I'm playing. Hey, what's $1,600 in Sol? That's almost what? I don't know. That's a bunch of Solana. So you'll have to see that. There you go. All right. Well, congratulations. You win a red guy.
Guys. Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome. All right, boys. Well, all eyes on or ears on David Sachs at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's see what he talks about this presser. What?
Hyper Ray J is actually come back. Hyper Ray J.
Hyper Ray J?
I don't hate that.
I don't hate Hyper Ray J. You know what? It's cool for once. Like Hyper Ray J. You know, like Hyper Ray J. I don't know. I asked
destroying it again today, by the way.
What?
Up only. Everything else down. Hyper Ray J. Going to all-time highs, guys.
Yeah, 100%. Anyways, with that, we'll see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the episode of FOMO HOUR on Rug Radio, but also Underexposed live in 45 minutes. So if you want more content, Tyler's going to be talking about his bags in 45 minutes with D's, Peter, and Jeeps. Peace out, y'all.